Good evening. How are we all this fine eve? You starting to feel Christmassy yet? I know I am. Right, well this evening we're going to be working on some good old psychedelic breaks. If you caught my stream a couple of weeks ago, I started this new track. It's going to be an Alterra project track, which means it's a collaboration between me and Dane and Charlie. Yo, yo, yo! Dane is in the chat. Let's have a little listen, shall we? Just pretty basic at the moment. Just like a pretty cool groove. Let's see what we've got going on, eh? Oh, let me know about levels, by the way. I think it should be about right. So we got this kind of like intro section, which is a little bit more chilled out. I've labelled it all up the top here, you can see. So we got the liquid drop, and then it goes into a little breakdown just afterwards. Breakdown, there's nothing there at the moment. And then we drop into the full-on Psybreaks. Takes me back. And it's a solid groove, but it's pretty basic. Got all these sounds that I made earlier. They're all in there. Cool. So basically, yeah, we've got a solid groove, but otherwise pretty basic track. I think last time I just basically made the groove. So I've expanded it out into like the structure of a full track, theoretically, potentially the structure of a whole track. We got this kind of like intro beatsy section, breakdown into the full-on drop. And then we've got a little kind of liquidy section towards the end of here before we break down again. Back into a full-on drop, and then a liquidy section to ease us out to the end. Pretty cool. So, Alterra Project is a collaboration between me and Dane and Charlie. Dane, you can see there in the chat now with a good old yo. Charlie can't make it because I don't usually stream on Mondays, but Mondays is his squash night apparently, which is all good. But check out all these sounds that we made when we were at Charlie's. It's a lot of sounds. And they're all kind of not particular. They're like we spent a lot of time making cool sounds, but we haven't really kind of like arranged them and edited them and integrated them into the tracks super properly. So, what I'm thinking today is, if I turn on this group, which has got all the sounds in at the moment, check out how it sounds. It's just kind of messy. So all these sounds I need to go through, and I need to work out how to use them most effectively in the track. So this whole group, I'm going to go through, select all the tracks in here and turn them off. And then I can go through one by one, turn them on, listen to the sound, and decide what is this sound doing and how can I effectively use it. So if we go for the first sound. So that's kind of percussion-y thing. And yeah, it's not quite a full 8 bars or 16 bars or whatever. It's kind of this in-between thing. This works all right in the intro for now. It's nothing too spectacular, so I'm just going to leave it as is for now. Oh, okay. This is a little bit something extra. This sounds like it might be something that's a bit more suitable for the full-on section. Yeah, we'll use it here. What I'm thinking is, what I heard in the intro is, you know, these kind of like... There's some sounds here which need turning on in the intro. I think it might be this. Yeah, I want these to be on from the beginning, I think. And then this one here, I think, is also... No. I think it's these sounds as well. That I want to be in an... Maybe not. Maybe it is, though. Okay. Let's try to get those in the intro and see how that sounds. Yeah, cool. And then, because this is kind of like... And then, quite a fresh drop, I think. Quite a cool groove. Why has it started doing the thing in front of you now? I've got no idea. It's probably an AI's done it without any human oversight, if I had to guess, because that seems to be all systems in these big tech companies seems to be degrading at a rate of knots. I won't be surprised if it was that. Or it could be someone at YouTube has just decided that everyone is going to have an @ in front of their name for some reason, even though it's completely pointless. So yeah, this solid groove to start off. And then we'll bring this in a bit later, I think. Yes, Dane, you sent me zips, but unfortunately when you sent it me just as I was going live, so at some point, hopefully, well, I think we've got, to be honest, I think we've got tons of tracks here to be getting through. I think there's a stream's worth. But I'm really looking forward to getting your tracks in, because I think some of your vocally parts in particular, some of the moments in there are just like extremely cool and could form part of like the core groove, so they could be repeated like every bar, every 2 bars or something. So I'm definitely looking forward to cracking those open. But for now, we're just going to go through these sounds and try and get them organised. Cool, so this is sounding pretty cool. this little roll at the end. It's cool. The problem is here, it's got this like gap thing. I don't know what's going on here, what we put it through, but something's sounding a bit sketchy to me. Okay, no, I liked it as the original. I think we'll probably repeat this one here because I like that better than the one that's there. I thought this particular instance of that little pattern was quite weak. Cool. We'll leave that there for now. One of the challenges with when you've got like tons of new audio tracks to work with is just trying to like keep it organized enough so that everything doesn't become messy and confusing and you lose track of what you're trying to do. So as we add these tracks in one at a time, I'll probably end up editing out some of the extra bits from the tracks we've already gone through. That's fine. Let's see what this next track is doing for us. Unedited, of course, but it sounds like more of the full-on vibes to me than the intro vibes. To be honest, I know Dane was quite keen to have a really good crack at the kind of liquidy vibes anyway, so good to leave him plenty of space. And cool. We'll take that track, the previous track, out for now. Look like that. Like the sound of that, but I just think it's an octave too high. I wonder if putting this down an octave might stand us in good stead. Yeah, that's a pretty cool sound there. See, that first bit here is pretty cool. Not on its own, but it needs to like lead into something. The problem is that this bit here is kind of harsh. So there's like nasty frequencies going on in the top end. So that's out. We've just got to hope that something fits in around this to contextualize this sound in a way which brings out its potential. Right, so I like this. I like all that, actually. that could actually be a repeated thing. I think. Let's put that on its own track. Because that could be like a repeated motif, potentially. So here, it lies. If this is a 4-bar loop, you see here, it's divided into bars of 4. It starts on the second bar, and that seems to fit quite naturally in terms of the flow of each 4-bar section. So if I repeat it, I'll try and put it in the same place in the 4-bar loop. So hopefully it has the same kind of flow to it. This one, which clashes with it, can go here. Do some... this one's not really good enough to keep. Okay, so this is a cool kind of flow to this kind of sound. It's like, yeah. Sounds like someone just fucking regurgitating nonsense, which is cool. But it's got some like some resonant frequencies I'm not too keen on. So hopefully Soothe 2 can smooth those out, and a bit of saturation as well. Yeah, worked very well. And then a saturation knob just to smooth off those peaks. And then obviously this is too loud now, so we'll need to turn these down. We'll repeat that once more. We'll turn this off for now, just so we can go through the rest of these sounds. Cool. This, I kind of like. I'm not too keen on the length of it, though. I kind of like it a bit more like that. Or maybe even like that. Yeah, that's kind of cool, because it takes it out of the way of the kick drum. Hey up, Leaf. Oh, you arrived just at the moment of this fantastic sound that I just found. So today, we are, just for the benefit of Leaf here, who's just joined us, we're going through a ton of sounds that me and Charlie made when we had the Alterra production weekend down at Charlie's house. We made them together, but a lot of them are kind of pretty raw. So I'm just going through sound by sound and trying to integrate them into the project, which is fun, you know, because I don't have to do much sound generation. It's just, there's just cool sounds ready for me to make music with. This is like a very, very cool sound. Right, I think this is also getting kind of like its own track kind of thing. Yeah, okay, so this really worked well before, in conjunction with this other sound that I made, which is excellent. I love it when that happens. Yeah. This is sounding a little bit messy. How to make it work? Probably for the first one, might just delete that one. No, we'll leave that for there for now. Plenty more sounds to get through. So we don't want to fill out everything too much just to start with. Cool, so I think I only really like this last bit, but I'm going to put it there. Easy to get sucked in when they're this good, yeah. Just let the endless wave of cool sounds wash over you. Maybe this might be good with a big kind of delay or reverb, sorry. Let's see what we've got going on. Well, we got, assuming this C send is the big reverb, but I'm not... Oh, that's too big. That was too dank by half. You know what? I'm going to get rid of that. I don't like it enough. This, it's not currently good, but it could be. We'll see if this works. It might not. It might just sound equally as rubbish. But anyhow, I'm thinking about a little filter sweep just to kind of soften it, because I kind of like some of the aspects of this sound, but it's kind of harsh again. So... make sure that it doesn't affect the rest of the track. Now, get rid. Get rid. You never know unless you try. Oh well. Cool. All right. So that's some sounds we've got going on. And then we've got some above here as well. So hopefully these will work well in conjunction with each other. And this one here. Right, okay. On to the next one. Let's see what else we've got for us, eh? Shall we? What does this one do? This definitely sounds like something for the full-on section. Turn off all the others for now. Again, some quite harsh bits in this. Oh, let's have a look on the EQ. Sounds like just a bit resonant to me, you know. Not that bit. That bit's really nasty, but yeah, see all these kind of high frequencies here. Problematic. So hopefully a soothe can smooth it out. Frog-like, yeah, kind of. Not in the right way. I'm wondering about if I do like a Hass effect. Often that can soften these. It can soften these kind of like quite harsh sounds. Yeah, a little bit. It's kind of worked. But I think I might just edit out a lot of these kind of harsher sounds, to be honest. I think that's going to be quite a lot of this track, but hey ho. Still some very cool parts. Like this, which could actually be just a little bit louder, I think. Or at least the first bit of it could. The second half of that could. I think this first bit, come on, is just a little bit too loud. Yeah, that one, a little bit just harsh again. This is extremely cool. I like it a lot. But I think, look, I can already see it's going to start like clashing with this. So I'm thinking. I wonder if I do that. Just like experiment, little rejigs till it works. You liked it with the one on the end, did you, Leaf? I can't decide which sounds neater, because that too stuttered. The smooth was nicer. See, I think I like this one best. Oh, okay. Or maybe we do something like this, so it leads into, because this here is like a downbeat, end of a 8-bar section or something. So if this leads into it, it should give a nice kind of feel. Yeah, that's a bit better, I think. I like it. Like a call and answer. Yeah. The thing is, we've got like a million sounds yet to go, so the absolute particulars of where exactly this sound goes and what's going to fit around it, we don't have to get it perfect yet. Could add the end slice on a bit later. Yeah, could do that. To be honest, I like how it flows at the moment. I don't want to get too hung up on like this one particular sound yet until we've got a picture of everything that's going to be in the section, because it all fits together like a jigsaw, and just working on one thing out of context of the rest of the sounds can sometimes be counterproductive. Like these little sounds here. Yeah, well easy to get sucked in, isn't it, Leaf? This has got potential. The first bit of it, anyway. Yeah, that'll do for now. And that's what we've got there for now. Cool. Okay. Let's just, for each track that I do, I'm going to make sure that it fits around the other sounds that we've made. I've only been here for a few minutes, and I'm in the thick of it. Yeah, you love to get stuck in, don't you, Leaf? But that's good. I really appreciate the back and forth here. It's nice to have the just like little fresh just inputs to the workflow. This sound here I'm probably going to cut eventually if I find something better. See, these ones now that I've got these other sounds in, they sound just a bit clashy. Maybe the end of this off. Might do the same thing here, because the end of this sound just sounds a bit rubbish. All these sounds were made on Charlie's ridiculously fancy Focal studio monitors. So it's possible that they sound better on better speakers than mine. I'm using my headphones at the moment, which, you know, are kind of like 200 quid headphones. They're all right, but they're not as good as my monitors. But my monitors pale in comparison to the quality of Charlie's, which we made these sounds on. So it's possible that I can't hear the correct qualities of some of these sounds. Cool. Let's add in another track, shall we? And we will see what the next surprise in store for us is. You have the Dyne Audio BM5A. Ooh, are those your monitors? I haven't heard of those, to be honest. I'm guessing they are 5-inch cones. I've got the Eve Audio SC207s, which are 7-inch cones and ribbon. Very nice, actually. They used to be Charlie's. They used to be Charlie's speakers, and then when I was looking to upgrade, Charlie was looking to upgrade, and he ended up with the Focals, and I ended up with Charlie's because I was going to buy some of them anyway because I made tunes on them at Charlie's and knew that I liked them. So cool. The next one we're going for is this track. What does this one do? Vital. Interesting. Maybe this starts from like here. And then, yeah, it's got this kind of like... I'm interested for this for the redrop, to be honest. The three-ways, yeah, the three-ways are fantastic, but the expense is insane. So, like the Eve SC207s, I think are about 750 quid new. But the Eve SC307s, which are the three-ways, they're like $2,000 or something. I can't afford it. Cool, yeah. So this is cool, but I'm thinking that this wants to maybe be like here so that it's not coming in straight away. So we've just got the basic solid groove. And then from here, hopefully we start bringing it in. Some of these like croaks are very nice. Croaks are great. Yeah, cool. You need to be a bit careful with them. They're a bit kind of like low, mid. They could easily dominate. I might turn them down and just use them as like a towards the back element. We'll see. Oh yeah, I've been looking for a good downbeat one here. And that's the one, I think. That can go right there. Hear it with the lead in. You know what? No, it's not good. It's good, but it's not good enough to be repeated every downbeat. Yeah, these will add an extra like low layer. If there's any synths that are kind of quite cool on the kind of like mids and highs, and then is lacking in low mid, like these kind of sounds could layer underneath quite well, I think. Sounding like a Psy rainforest. Excellent. Excellent. So what you're saying is like some kind of genre like Psy, but in the forest. If only someone could invent such a thing. Frogstep? Well, it's Psybreaks. Well, I actually have a Psybreaks tune from way back in the day called Hypnotoad, which was all kind of like toad frog themed. You can go and listen to it actually under my name Qua, which was my Psybreaks name. I'm sure you can find it somewhere online. But yeah, it was kind of like all these like croaky frog sounds. I really like the MIDI that's going on for this, you know, the notes that are getting played, but I'm not sure this sound is the one. I'm going to go through anyway because there'll probably be the odd snippet that's usable, but hopefully some of these other sounds that we've got still to edit have got that same MIDI, but are just a bit like a more solid sound, you know. Yeah, this sound actually got way less cool after the MIDI change. Cool. All right. Well, let's see how that sits around the other sounds that we've got. You can see it's already starting to get quite confusing, but it's all good. See, I'm just trying to avoid some of these clashes. Probably get rid of that. Superfluous to our requirements. This, yeah, it's getting very busy in parts. This is where the jigsaw puzzle comes in. A lot of the skill of the kind of writing the music here, how to fit them around, how to make sure each bit is kind of like powerful, audible, and fits around everything else. Yeah, kind of sound alright. Nah. This is early days as well, guys. Look how many more tracks we've got to edit down. Oh, this jigsaw puzzle is going to get insane by the end of it. I like that one better, I think. Okay, so we got. Get rid of that. And then we're into the hats as well somewhere. Hats, here we are. Just have a little... Yeah. And now the drums complement the synths a lot better, just in that particular moment. Yeah, we are getting there with this little section. Funky. Wonder if we even need that. Yeah. Get rid of that one, because I think if this and this are kind of the same sound, and if we have it here, it kind of detracts from how cool this one sounds, I think. So... that clashes with that. Except I'm not really keen on that. They fit really nicely. Probably this one clashes with that there. Not sure about that. That seems a little bit pointless to me, that thing there. Maybe if it went there. Ooh. Little bit between 96 and 97. The one I deleted. Damn. I can't undo now without that. Oh, you mean that thing there? You liked that, did you? Okay, I'll leave it in for now. Might end up deleting. Felt weird, might delete later. The one you shorted just before the hit. Oh, okay. So you liked the one that I kept in. Okay, cool. That's good. I can delete that then. Guilt-free. Without feeling like I've slighted my greatest viewer. Okay, so next one. Yeah, that definitely feel like a like it needs to go in the full-on section. Did we even make many sounds? Because I think when we were in the session, we were like, Dane said that he was really keen to do the liquidy parts, so we kind of left them fairly clean. I think we worked mainly on the full-on bits. Okay, I have a suspicion here, which is that when warping this and unwarping it, it hasn't started from... No, it has. Okay. Okay, there we go. That looks a bit more sensible, doesn't it? Yeah. Not sure about the location though. Oh yeah. I like that flow. Try some different places. I think probably they're going to be turned down a bit. Needs a reverb, that's for sure. Let's try it with a delay, but I'm pretty sure. Hang on a sec, what's going on here? Ah, I don't have a delay on this yet. Cool, alright. Right, that's cool, because I'm thinking quite a slow delay for this. Maybe like a dotted eighth or something like that. And I'm going to use replica. Sorry, a dotted fourth, maybe. Just thinking about saving. Okay. Ah, it was turned off. Okay, so I'm going to have to put that back in because, yeah, I'm not really sure. What else I sent to it? I just turned it off for some reason. Let's try it again. That's too long. So I'm going to make a new. I'm going to. That's too. It's the delay rate is shorter than I want. The feedback is higher than I want. So I'm just going to add another one, I think. This might not even work. We will see. Works really well. Good idea, Dane. I'm not even sure I like that sound. It's just a bit harsh compared to the others. To be honest, all these are a little bit... Let's get a little Pro Q on it and see if we can take out some of that harshness. Yeah, you see, there it is. It's got a big peak in the middle there. Maybe that could even go at the beginning now, you know? Let's try it. Yeah. And to be honest, I might even end up just repeating those over and over. I think they're good enough. Let's go for a new track with no... You like it at the beginning? Yeah, me too. I think that's the place for it. I think it just like grooves so hard now, that beginning. And I think I might even repeat these again, you know. So like... think that there. Yeah, we found these new sounds that I've just unpacked are pretty awesome. Cool. So these sounds that I'm currently editing, if some of the other sounds clash with them. We did have a really, really awesome weekend, to be honest. Not to brag, but we did actually make the greatest tune ever made of that weekend that we went to Charlie's. I can't wait to play it, you all. Oh, my God. But it's not finished yet. I think we'll keep that one a secret so that you haven't heard everything on the album. That one, maybe down an octave. Yeah, nice. God damn it, Outlook. I've never even logged into Outlook on this computer. How are you giving me notifications? Yeah, let's try that here as well. This sound is really tying it together, you know? Right. Great. I'm going to add the other sounds in now. And like this one here that I've just edited, this is the main sound now. So everything else has to fit around that. It has to support that sound and has to give way to it as well. So if there's anything that clashes with it, I'll take out the other thing and not this. So let's turn all the other ones back on. Yeah. Oh. Here. It's not quite as good as it could be. Go with that. Right, great stuff. I think that kind of was pretty easy, really, because it's a great sound, and great sounds tend to fit other sounds a lot better than crap sounds. So, happy days. Next, see what we got. Oh, yeah, we like this. I think we like this a lot. Just to make sure it's in the right place, because the last one was not. Yeah, we get rid of that. Okay. Yeah, this fits quite well in the liquid section now, which is cool. I might just leave them as is, to be honest. Although this one here will need some editing. Yeah, that's all kind of great. I think what I probably will do is put them like here, so that kind of leads into the drop a little bit more, into the breakdown, sorry. Might have those instead of these main sounds in this section. They kind of do a similar role. Yeah, sound easy peasy. Let's just add in the others and see what it sounds like with everything here. Yep, that works. Easy peasy, nice easy sound. Good sound, integrates well. Is in the right place anyway. I think that's one of the ones we kind of edited a little bit more than the others. I just got to remember to do this for every single track. Right, let's see what this one is doing. Oh, let me just turn off to others. Yeah, again, I don't like the fact that there's this kind of like 4-bar break at the end of this. It doesn't neatly line up, so we're going to push it back 4 bars and then hopefully... Yeah, it leads into the breakdown a little bit better. Again, very easy sound. Lovely stuff. Don't know what this one's doing, but it looks like it clashes with the previous one. Okay. I'm just going to make sure I've got this in the right place. No warping. Yeah, see. It's a tricksy one, this Ableton warp. I need to... What I've done is... what I had in my previous Ableton install is I just turned off all automatic warping. Because I've noticed in Ableton, I don't know if there's a way of stopping it from doing this, but sometimes when it auto warps, it also won't start it from the beginning of the file. It'll start it like from here or something. So you've got to go in and manually push this back to the beginning of the file often, which is a right pain in the ass. I don't know why they've done it. There must be some reason, some workflow that's different to mine, that's common, why you need it to do that. But for me, I just like to go in and have auto warping turned off, so I know if I load something in, it is the exact file, the right length, the right place that I want it to be. Cool. I'm thinking these might be good as like a breakdown thing. I'm not really they're not really inspiring me as bits for the full-on section. Yeah, it is a huge pain in the ass, isn't it, Leaf? So that's cool. Nice little lead into the breakdown. That works. Not too sure about that one. Maybe if it's like halfway through. Nope. Yeah, great sounds. Sounds like a Charlie one, this sound. Was jamming before bed. Oh, is it your bedtime? Pretty early, isn't it? Cool. Just make sure this is all correct. Seems the LFO change didn't bounce. What, this one? No. This can't be yours, can it? Because this is one from the Charlie batch. That's unless you made it before you left. Because here's the thing, guys. Dane was there, but he had to leave on the Sunday. So when Dane left, that's when me and Charlie worked on this. So there shouldn't really be any Dane sounds in this. I'm guessing you made this before you left, and then maybe we messed it up when we opened the project file and messed with the LFO speed. Oh, but 430. Oof. I do not envy you there, Leaf. Right, let's see what this next one does, eh? These are really nice. Not the first one. Cool. I think we're going to need all the other sounds in here to work out whether these are in the right place. because I think they're like a call and response to these cool sounds that we were working on earlier. Let's have a look. Not sure about the placement. For the call and response, you see the other ones hit every 4 bars, so that would be there, that'd be there. So if you want these to hit equidistant in between the other ones, we need them there, I think. Yeah. Cool. I'm going to edit it from here because I think these sounds keep getting whittled down and down and down. Maybe I'm thinking I might even just like do a bit of that because they're kind of not really gelling with some of the other sounds in this section, but then they come in here as like a feature. Yeah, there's a lot more space here now. All the other sounds come through a lot cleaner, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that was great. Fantastic. Next one. Yeah. Yeah, I remember these. This is a really cool MIDI pattern that we really need to try and make work, I think. Have some reverb on here for sure. Not sure about that one. Not even sure about that one, to be honest, but we'll see how we get on with the other sounds. That's really nice. That could even be kind of delayed, maybe. And the problem with these sounds as well is they're very heavy in something around the low mid. So just need a little bit extra taking off the bottom, I think. It sounded a little bit muddy, you know, they're muddying up things. Oh, Leaf, you're still here, good. Our stream analytics are saying no one's watching. And I think, so this MIDI's really cool, I remember it, and I think we've got more tracks with the same MIDI to come, just here. Really coming together now, this section, starting to fill out. Yeah. Again, though, I'm going to do the same thing. Just roll off some of those low mids. Hopefully not be as muddy. Oh, yeah. These sit in really nice. Maybe not that one. Most of it sounds really natural in place with the rest of it. Yeah, thank you, Reed. Very, very funky. Even to the extent where I'm thinking now, like, does this even need that many more sounds, this section at the moment? So maybe this could be, like, better used over here. Now, let's try it here for now. Yeah, okay. But the problem is here, these kind of sounds are very similar to the other kind of croaky sounds that we need to watch out for. Probably like these kind of things here. So, very cool, but if we just have it fill in the gaps, like just here, in between here, and this obviously clashes big time. So maybe like there. Yeah, froggy vibes, isn't it, Leaf? Oh, this is nice. But it clashes a little bit there. Okay, and we've got this here to avoid clashes with. Hard to tell which is better though. Like this could be moved. Like here. Oh god, this is sounding muddy. Okay, so I'm wondering about taking that out and having this instead. What's this doing? Let's just hear what this is doing. Yeah. So what can I salvage? Yeah, see, that's a lot less muddy now. Everything's a lot more definition to each individual sound. Having too many sounds playing at the same time reduces each sound in definition a lot of the time. Sometimes layering sounds is cool if they're like, if when layered they sound like one complete sound together. So often that is when things have like modulation which travels in the same direction. So say you've got a filter sweep on one sound, and then say a formant shift on another sound, and they kind of follow each other at the same time. Often these sounds layer together quite well, but a lot of these sounds here, they're not doing that. They're just kind of traveling in all kinds of directions, kind of wishy-washy, getting in each other's ways. So working out how to cut them and separate them out so that each sound is well defined and has a purpose is the key here. Like that, I think, is just getting in the way. It's not got a low cut on. No, needs a better low cut if it does have one. Yeah, it's a bit better. Yeah, okay. That's cool. Getting very busy. Very, very busy indeed. In and around this soundscape car. Just make sure that this is in the right place. Cool. So we actually have some sounds that we've made over this later section, which is great, because hopefully they will just fit nicely, seeing as we've made them there. Let's have a listen. They do indeed fit very nicely. Okay, so a little... That definitely needs a delay. Little melody nugget. Possibly the other delay. Yeah. I'm not sure we need it on this one though, now that we've kind of replaced that. In the liquid section, I think these were a lot better. Yeah, some of these sounds, these last few sounds we've done have been pretty easy. They must have been well worked upon in the session, which is good. These next two sounds look a little bit more involved. Yeah, awesome sound. So obviously that's going to get a delay. We need that to ring out loud and clear, I think. With a shorter delay. In fact, I'm going to put that on its own track, because that needs a nice EQ to bring out those nice sparkles, I think. Let's have a look on the EQ and see what frequencies we're talking about here. Yeah, I think we're going to bring out something like that. Get rid of a load of the lower frequencies, because they'll muddy up a lot of the low mid wubs and stuff that we've got going on in other sounds. A little bit of a volume boost now. Could even have that at the beginning of the... Yeah, and again, the same. It's going to go on the next track. It's going to be delayed to hell. What I'm also thinking about these is they've got some. They're nice and kind of stereo, but they could be a little bit wider, I think. So I'm just going to send them out to the side a little bit more. The Ozone Imager, by the way, a completely free plugin, and it just kind of like really good at widening stuff. It's even got this stereo-wise, which I think is like a Hass effect thing, essentially. We're going to keep that. Fills a nice gap. Oh, cool, but too quiet. I remember this sound. I think this was like the main kind of sound we wanted to be in this little gap. What I'm thinking as well is maybe this could go through this EQ from these other sounds, because again, it's kind of muddying up this section. We've got kind of quite a lot going on. I need to make a decision really here about what we keep and what we don't. I think at the moment there's just a little bit too much, but that's the decision maybe for next time, coming back to it with fresh ears. Very nice sound again. Go on there. Nice delay. Some really lovely sounds indeed. Ah, this is what yeah, cool. Really nice. I think this is just going to work well. As I remember, these were edited quite carefully. Lovely. That sounds like a Dane sound, if ever I heard one. Not sure Dane's still here, though, to corroborate my suspicions. I'll just drop a save. Oh, we're getting through it. Oh, so many. We are not getting through it. Wow. Very nice delays, yeah. That wasn't yours. Ooh, interesting. Well, this looks like it's going to get in the way of everything we've done so far. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think this one, I'm going to bump off to the second drop. Because it's just going to get in the way of everything we've done. Yeah, because this kind of like is power on its own, you know. Yeah, this is just great. The Psytrance Maniac is back. Amazing. Well, we're making something a little bit closer to Psytrance today. Gilp. Which is Psybreaks. It's still not exactly Psytrance. I know you purists could never settle for Psybreaks when Psytrance is on the table. Yeah, this sound... It just is great. I've got no notes on this sound, I don't think. Love the effects and track. Thanks, Gilp. This is like, so this is a track, just to fill you in, that I started and then I only had the basic beat down on stream, and then me and Dane and Charlie all met up at Charlie's and we worked on a bunch of Alterra tunes, including this track, and we made a ton of sounds, which I'm now going through sound by sound and integrating into the track, because when I just played them all together, it was just a cacophony of ill-conceived edits. I will take breaks. Old school purists, yeah. Let's see what this next sound is doing, eh? Not sure about that. Yeah, it just clashes with the much cooler sound up there. It's one of those sounds which you're just like, I've spent too long on this effects chain to completely give up on it, so I'll bounce it to audio anyway, even though it sounds rubbish. I think that's what happened here. Take it over most modern psytrance. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm not really one for... Obviously, I'm attracted to certain genres. I really love psydub. I love breaks. I kind of like psytrance, but at the end of the day, good music is good music, and it's about the journey that you create through the sounds, through the sound world that you're using. And I find a lot of the... And don't get me wrong, I love psytrance, and there is modern psytrance that I love as well. There's a GMS and Dixter mix from Boom, the last Boom. No, Boom 23, which is just insane. But a lot of the psytrance, I just find that, like, although the sounds are very cool, like the tune writing is often somewhat lacking. So this could potentially be cool. Okay, not very much that was good in there. That's fine though. Let's bring in the other one and see how those... Old goer stuff that is more groove focused over sound focused. Yeah, I'm a prog guy, really. If I go to like a psytrance festival these days, you'll find me often at the side stage early afternoon, having it to prog, because I find that there's a lot more kind of nuance to the actual build-up of the tune writing. Each sound is often a bit more kind of intentional, carefully placed, and the bass. Sorry for my biscuit eating. And the bass is often just so fat. I spend a lot of time perfecting that to the prog guys. So this sound here is like extremely ace and dominant. So everything else, I think we're just kind of looking to fit around that, really. We're looking to support that sound and allow it to be all it can be through the power of friendship with other sounds. Okay, that was cool. I'm going to try and use that. Going to try and maybe do it like this so that it plays when this is not playing. Yes, nice. More funk and groove. Always Fallen Leaf. Always funk. Always groove. Are you aware of Bootsy Collins's funk formula? It's pretty simple. And all it says is that every 1 bar or 2 bars, you hit the root note on the downbeat. So, boom, boom, boom. And then you can put whatever you want in between. Boom, 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 boom. As long as you hit that first note every time. On the bass, because he's a bassist, obviously. Probably going to not use that one. Yeah, kind of weird, this sound. I reckon we can use some bits of this, though. Right? Not all of it. It's kind of crazy. So this is not quite right. Not too sure about this sound. It might even be a pitching issue. I think I'm going to leave it in though and come back to it later and see if I like it on a repeat listen. Okay, this is cool. Do you sometimes use percussion in your track, like using Ableton's percussion Spirit drum rack? Yeah, absolutely. It's only because, like, yeah, I use percussion a lot. Especially in kind of broken beat, you really need to build up the break. So I use a combination of like drum racks. So here's the hats, for instance. Got a drum rack there with a pattern. and then kind of like loops and stuff. I like to use. To be honest, I kept it simple in this. I think just because I wanted that powerful kind of simple. Oh yeah, and then I've got some like loops here. But yeah, I tend to use a combination of loops, like just actual samples, because if you're looking at my like snare, for instance, I've got like some kick, some MIDI, but I've also got some just samples that I've dropped in there. So yeah, combination. There's no right way, I don't think, Gilp. It's just however you get your groove to groove. If it grooves, then it grooves. It doesn't matter how you've done it. You know what? Instead of that, why don't I move this to like there, where there's a nice gap. See, all of it sounds good. Yeah, honestly, like people teach music production, and often like people will. I haven't come across many people who are like, this is the way it has to be. You must do it this way. Every other way is wrong. Because there's like a million ways to achieve anything, really. What you need to do is develop your workflow to facilitate the exact kind of music that you want to make. So like a lot of the methods I use to, and like the workflow I use to like bounce out sounds, edit down, rinse and repeat, it's kind of like reverse engineered, starting with the sound that I want, the type of music that I want to make, and then working out how to design a workflow which is going to consistently produce the type of music you want to make. Whether that's using drum racks, whether it's using samples, whether it's using loops, it's all good. Yeah, it's right, Leaf, isn't it? Also known as the razor thing. Yeah, it's my entire workflow. It's that one razor sound. Is that the end? Yeah, that's the end of that particular sound. By the sounds of it, Leaf, me and you are both guilty of over-reliance on the razor thing. Next sound. Looks like it's an intro sound, which is cool. This doesn't sound like a sound that I like, actually. This might be an old my strategy for this might be to press delete, I think. So this is cool. Very unfortunately, it's just like an editing job, though, isn't it? It's like something that's been bounced. Yeah, it was completely unnecessary, wasn't it, Dane? It's just not as good as any of the other sounds we've already got in there. So why would we bother keeping it? This is like a tedious. Obviously, this is something that's just been like bounced and not edited. So I'm thinking, you like it? Ah, you got to be controversial, Leaf, haven't you? Okay. Let's edit it from the beginning. Oh, not the thing I removed. Cool. That's good. Yeah, I like this new thing as well. I think it's cool. Which is annoying because it means I've got to edit it down rather than just delete it. It's easier to not like a sound than like a sound and have to bloody make it work. Yeah, these ones work a lot better. It's just the kind of the most tedious type of sound to edit down, you know, something that's just straight 16ths, randomized. There's good bits in there, but you've got to just listen to blah, 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 and then not fall asleep and be on the ball for when a good bit does arise, which can be hard sometimes. Yeah. That whole section's sick. Yeah. This thing, I want it to be longer. Give it a good old whop. So this could be a little bit cleaner. Yeah, might be a little bit dry now with those cuts, but we'll I'll feel it out in the next session. That is going at the end again there. So, I've got these like 3 bars to fill. Okay, cool. Right. There's only so much of working through these tracks I can take. Look how many more I've got left to do. Oh. I'll probably do that off stream, to be honest, because I'd imagine it's getting a bit tedious now, me just going through track after track. That Vox delay when it pops through is super nice. Is that in this first section you're talking about? Vox delay. Let's have a listen through, shall we, actually, with all the sounds that we've done so far. And then I think that'll be the end. The gated LFO thing. Yeah, that is really nice. Some drum edits on those transitions. this is shaping up real nice. Oh, need a big delay on. Very nice indeed. Let's just listen to the final drop so that we can hear those last one. And then it'll be a goodbye from me. Slightly busy in the low mids. Yeah. A lot of boopy kind of stuff. Another thing, Ruth said, sure. Usually when I go from my headphones to my studio monitors, loads more kind of mixing issues crop up instantly. You can just go ahead and fix them. What we need is like intro, outro sounds, pads, risers, impacts, that kind of thing. And obviously, Dane, you wanted to do a load of neuro for the more liquidy parts, which would also be pretty cool. Thank you all. I will catch you again next time. In a bit.